My myth is an Aztec creation story. The Aztecs originally lived north of the Valley of Mexico, which is called Aztlan. The Aztecs then moved to central Mexico, but this reason is unknown. They built their capital on top of Lake Texcoco and named it Tenochtitlan.
When the Aztecs moved to central Mexico, they changed their name from Aztec to Mexica. Although they made this sudden change, they will always be known as the Aztecs. The Aztecs Empire is one of the strongest empires ever. They lasted for the 14th, 15th, and 16th century. Finally, in 1521, the Aztecs fell to Spain.
The Aztecs were polytheistic. This means that they believe in many gods. They used the word Teotl as their central idea of Aztec religion. To them, Teotl meant divinity and indescribable. Anything can be Teotl because everything is sacred.
As part of the Aztecs' religion, they had many myths and stories to explain why things are the way they are. This particular myth is about the creation of the world according to the Aztecs. It also explains why they believe in certain rituals.
The gods Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca lived in the sky, and there was only water below them. In the water there lived a huge goddess who ate everything in sight. All of the creations that the god made were getting devoured. Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca knew that they needed to stop her. They pretended to be serpents and grabbed her until she broke apart. Her upper body became the earth and her lower body became the sky.
The other gods felt bad for the water goddess, so they came up with an idea to have her provide the necessities for people to survive. They made trees, grass, and flowers from her hair, fountains, caves, and wells from her eyes, rivers from her mouth, mountains from her shoulders, and hills and valleys from her nose. The goddess was still very sad, and the people knew it was because she wanted human blood.
The people knew that if they didn't give her something, she wouldn't provide them with food. So the gift of human hearts was given unto her. The Aztecs always give this sacrifice so that the goddess will always keep the earth bountiful.
Now for my myth. The current majority of religion in the Czech Republic is atheist, or non-believer. 28.7% is Roman Catholic, and 2.5% is Protestant.
The Prime Minister, Jan Fischer, is the head of the government. He chooses government ministers and sets the agenda for the foreign and domestic policy. Back then, though, the only ruler they had was the king.
The summers in the Czech Republic are hot, but temperatures vary between places in the Czech Republic. July is the hottest month of the year.
Vanek is the main character in my myth. He was a farmer and then became a successful gardener for the king. The king is the ruler of Czechoslovakia with the daughter that stopped speaking at age 12.
In my myth, Fortune tells Reason to get inside Vanek's head, and when he does, Vanek is inspired to be a gardener instead of a farmer. So, Vanek becomes a royal gardener for the king. The king makes a proposition that whoever can make his daughter speak will marry her. Vanek made her speak, but the king said he was not of noble origin to marry her. Vanek disagreed with the king, so his head was to be cut off. Fortune then gets inside Vanek's head, and the headsman's sword breaks. He was so fortunate that he ends up marrying the king's daughter.
The conflicts of the story are that Reason thinks he is better than Fortune, but the truth is that they work together, so one is not better than the other.
The lesson of the myth is since Fortune and Reason work together in life, Reason must come before Fortune. This means you must take a chance and do what is right for you in order to have good fortune. Religion is very important to people in the Aztec and Czech Republic cultures. They are both extremely different from each other, though. The majority of the Czech culture does not believe in any gods. They are atheist.
Funny you say that, because the Aztecs believe in hundreds of gods. They are polytheistic. Other aspects of our cultures are actually alike.
Oh, really? Like what?
Like our politics. The king rules over the entire empire. The king has to ask all of the nobles before he makes any important decisions.
What are the characters in your story like?
My characters are all gods and goddesses. They have a lot of power over everything and control whatever they choose to. There are also people in my myth, but they don't play such an important role.
Wow, that's kind of like my characters, except the ones in control for mine are more like spirits rather than gods or goddesses. They also control things by going inside people's heads. The people in my story are important, though, because they are being controlled by the spirits, Fortune, and Reason. What lesson does your myth teach?
Well, it really isn't a lesson. It's more of an explanation. It tells why the Aztec people made human heart sacrifices. My myth also explains how the earth was created.
Your myth's lesson is completely different from mine. My myth teaches how fortune and reason work together in life. It tells how you must take a chance and do what is right for you in order to have good fortune. 1, 2, 3.
The end!
Meow.
Popping bottles in the